fine. There's no problem, as long as everybody stays in their track. If Jupiter came out of its orbital path, Earth would be destroyed. But that doesn't happen. All the planets are neatly in orbit. However, you can imagine if one spectator were to run through this racing track, run through all the tracks toward the center, and what would happen would be that this intruder would bump into other runners or cause havoc in some other way with these runners. So likewise, this planet comes almost straight in, like an intruder on a virtually straight line path. Actually, it's a highly elliptical orbit.
All right, now on a practical
devastation.
on a practical matter here, I mean, we can't see Jupiter right with the naked eye, so this planet could come within our solar system, or the brown dwarf, whatever it is. It could come into our solar system. We wouldn't even see it on this planet. But we would feel the magnetic fields and our gravitational, and the tornadoes would increase. The weather would be affected.
Right. Right now we cannot see it.
Now we got the Hubble up there. I mean, I believe that the Hubble could focus on this. The Hubble could see it coming, but obviously NASA wouldn't release that information to the people, and because this is why we're spending billions of dollars building these giant drilling machines that are capable of doing several miles an hour miles under the earth. We've got the dumb bases, the deep underground military bases that have spread out all over the country. What are they building those for, folks? You think it's because they're afraid of nuclear war?
No, they're not. Their main concern is to protect themselves against the devastation that's coming. I'm trying to find my book.
But I don't think they got any plans. I don't think they got any plans on letting the local populace in. And this is one of the things that I want to talk about right now, folks. John, 8 years ago, you read the Free American, right? You got the Free American magazine, didn't you?
Yeah.
I talked about Planet X. I also came out with the idea of Liberty Villages, and right after that, they tried to kill me. Somebody tried to kill me. And I thought it was over the 9/11. I thought I would, because I was one of the first 9/11 truthers over there, to put a copy of Building Number 7 on my cover, when most of Americans didn't even know about Building 7. But I thought it was possibly because of the idea of Liberty Villages. Now, yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I had a guest on, I believe it was Friday, that has an answer. I mean, he has a structure that is perfectly suitable for Liberty Villages because it can withstand hurricanes and tornadoes.
Well, that would save many lives.
It's called the Monolithic Dome, and he's already got it. He's already built houses. He's building these houses all over the country. They're more energy efficient, and they're basically hurricane proof. They can withstand 100-mile-an-hour winds or more.
Well, that's what people will be needing very soon. In fact, right now.
And he also has grow domes that work the same way. Grow domes. I've got this all up on my website now. The grow domes, you can grow food year round under all weather conditions. Now, whatever, I mean, a tornado just killed 100 people in one of the southern states. And if Planet X is on its way, and all of the predictions are right, we're talking about probably feeling the full effects around 2012.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing and feeling serious effects in 2012. starting right now, it's just getting worse day by day. I don't know when it'll peak. It may peak in 2013 or 2014.
2015 is what some people are saying too. But
well, you know, I tend to agree with that lately because the Bible says that the Antichrist will rule for 3.5 years. And that Antichrist has not even been revealed yet, so we've got more than 3.5 years to go before the very end. So it could be 2015.
But, you know, we're certainly going to be going through a turbulent time there. And, you know, I said we ought to do Liberty Villages 8 years ago. I'm going to be putting on an event in Cochise County. That's where Tombstone is, OK Corral is. And it's designed to put the farmers and ranchers together with the veterans so we can help defend and protect and work together. The farmers and ranchers are unprotected right now. We've got a war going on our southern border. The two generals, McCaffrey is one of them, I believe. They hired in Texas to investigate the border situation, and they say we're in a war. We're in a war, and the illegals are coming over here, and we got to do something. We got to do something because the federal government's just encouraging this. The federal government's suing Arizona, suing the law enforcement in Arizona, trying to prevent the law enforcement from deporting the illegals.
Yeah, that's why I believe that Arizona and Texas should secede from the Union. The Union has been totally corrupted, and we just cannot. I believe in secession. I really do, for survival.
That's what really states' rights is what the whole Civil War was about. It wasn't about slavery, because we're still slavers. We're still slaves.
Yes, I mean, David J. Smith, I think, is really pushing hard for the secession of Texas. He's trying to educate people about that hope, that possibility. Because they're destroying, as you say, the border states of Arizona and Texas are being destroyed by our complicit. Our government is complicit with all these criminals coming across the border. Did you hear about them arming? Actually, the BATF arming Mexican drug gangs.
That's right.
And they claimed that it was a sting. Large numbers of weapons, I think it might have been AK-47, were given to these Mexican gangs. And I don't know how they could ever claim that this was a sting.
You're talking about the same agency that raided Waco, killed 17 little children and all their parents, grandparents?
Yeah.
Same agency? Yes.
That's right. And so that's why we have to, I believe that the people, to survive, they must secede. And that's why they have to become educated. They've been too dumbed down. The Texans are dumbed down, from what I hear from my friends in Texas. The Arizonans are dumbed down. And they have to be educated, but when they start feeling the pain of what's being foisted upon them coming across the border, they'll wake up real quick.
Well, it's happening now. This is what my whole event is about, to put the veterans. We got homeless veterans here. Put them to work on a farm. Put one of these yurts, teepees, or dome homes on a little bit of property. You got a ranch, a 100-acre ranch. Donate 5 acres to create a self-sufficient village, so the veterans can take care of themselves, generate their own electricity, communicate all over the world with their computer inside a low-cost structure that they don't have to pay $300,000 for over the next 30 years.
Right, and you know, carrying that to a biblical level, David J. Smith is showing us. And we know that in the Bible, he's pointing out excerpts from the book of Revelation, and other excerpts from the Bible also confirm that God will somehow take the people who are devoted to Him, people who call out to God. Many of us are not even calling out to God yet, but when we start feeling pain, we will. And God will protect those, bring them out of the enslavement that they're now suffering. Bring them out to a place of safety, and he thinks it might be Texas. Well, we don't know what God's plan is, but that's a good place to start. Try to bring people who care together to a place of safety, because this Antichrist system is going to enslave everybody, force them to worship this Antichrist, who is basically indwelled by Satan. Satan's purpose is to rule the world, and he is a real being. He has always existed, and he's now, his evil is overwhelming, and there's many fallen angels along with him are overwhelming this earth. And we see it all around us. We see Satan worship being promoted in the movies, on television. You see satanic hand signs constantly. I get sick every time I watch the Weather Channel or commercial. I see the satanic hand signs. It's so deliberate. It's so obvious. They put their hands together like a spider doing push-ups on a mirror, and they straighten the fingers out, and they form the inverted pyramid sign. The two thumbs are together, the two thumbs and all the fingers of the two hands are touching together in an inverted pyramid sign, and you see that countless times in commercials. The Weather Channel's doing it, everybody, all the sports channels. If people think that Satan is a mythical being, they're going to realize very soon that he's real. He tends to enslave all of us.
You know, I always get a charge out of looking at the Dodge trucks. You know, Ram Tough. That's a Baphomet inside the goat head, inside the ram head. That's a Baphomet. Right. I mean, look at it. It perfectly matches up. It's a Baphomet.
That's right. And George Bush was reading the book with the Baphomet story to the children at the moment that the planes were crashing into the Twin Towers. That was the symbolic, scripted situation. Now, worshiping the devil when they were taking down those towers.
Let me get back to the whole concept of Liberty Villages. You know, anytime a communist regime a tyrannical regime takes over, they go after the farmers first. They go after the people that produce the food. They don't want you being able to feed yourself. They want you into the lines. They want you into camps. They want you being a refugee. They want you that way. And that's what they do to take out the productive people, the intelligent people. They go after the intelligentsia, the farmers first, the intelligentsia next, and they go after the veterans next. After that, the veterans and the police officers that remain loyal to the old regime. And that's where we're at right now. They're trying to demonize the veterans. They're trying to demonize the oath keepers. They tried to demonize me for doing the militias. And the answer is being self-sufficient, protecting your own communities. We can't change the world. These people have been running the world and controlling the world for the better part of 4,000, 5,000 years.
Right.
Never been exactly easy to be free, but they are scared to death of you being self-sufficient. If you grow, and just to put it on a practical matter, if you grow your own food and generate your own energy from what God gave us, the sun and the wind, and the magnetics that He put on this planet for some reason that we use for refrigerator magnets instead of generator power. If you grow your own food and generate your own energy, what do you need the government for? What do you need to pay for? What do you need to, you know, you can live in harmony with this planet. That's what, to me, that's what Christianity started out to be, and it was soon taken over and made to enslave the people.
Right. When you get away from the enslaving technology, what happens is you begin to come closer to God because you're closer to the land, and you're seeing God's creation all around you, and you're communing with God more and more. On the contrary-wise, in our technological society, when we have to go to a supermarket to buy all these processed foods and live in a highly man-made, refined, toxic environment, then we drift away from God. So what you're advocating would bring people closer to God. It parallels the story of the Exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. All of these Bible stories are really portrayals, symbolic portrayals of what God plans for the future, where the people will come out of the satanic system just as they came out of Egypt. Pharaoh represented the Antichrist, who will soon take rule over the entire world. So if you want to read what's happening today and what's happening tomorrow's news today, read the book of Exodus. You'll see, and we are the Israelites, not blood Israelites, but spiritual Israelites. We want to be away from the evil. We want to get closer to God and closer to our own selves and our own independent spirit.
Yeah, Jesus was preaching against the established religions of his time. He was trying to tell you the same thing that you just said. And the Bible tells us to come out of her. You know, folks, if you want to
come out of her, my people.
Come out of her. That's exactly what I propose. Come out of the whole mystery Babylon school.
The schools are a prime example of an evil pit, cesspool.
Well, in Liberty Villages,
is the greatest thing.
You know, now here's the thing, folks. I have the answer here, John. I have the answer. You've confirmed that, in your opinion. The way to get back to God, to get back to our Constitution, to get back to our sovereignty, to get back to our independence, is the Liberty Village concept. Grow your own food. Don't buy nothing. Don't borrow nothing. Build it. Put it together. Work together. Work together. Defend yourself. Defend that little part of your community. Whether it's a block, whether it's a square block, you can take and put a grow dome in the back of your in your backyard, or dig up your backyard if you're in the south and grow a garden. We can grow our own food. And we don't have to be dependent on the genetically modified crap that rats won't eat, and they're feeding it to you and your kids. Folks, they don't want you to live long. They don't want you to prosper. They want you to be a good, obedient slave, and that's where we're at right now. I have the answer to that. But you know what the drawback is? What the drawback is, and I'm just working on a story about this right now. The drawback is that you people out there, you're sitting in your chair and you're not doing a damn thing to help this, to promote this, to do this. We've got all the knowledge. Now we found the buildings. If you want just a low-cost structure to camp in, you can get a tent, you can get a yurt, you can get for about $3,000. For the same thing as you could build a cabin for, you could build one of these dome homes that'll survive Hurricane Andrew, that'll survive a tornado, and you don't have to. We can't shoot down the planes that are spraying the chemtrails that are spraying you with aluminum and barium, but we can damn sure protect our crops and protect our families from this type of poisoning. This is what they're actually poisoning you, folks, in the industrial medical complex, military industrial medical complex. They're out there to sacrifice your children in useless wars. They're trying to poison your children here. They want to give them vaccines that'll make sure they don't live to collect that Social Security. I think that's what's happening. And I think the Liberty Villages is the only way to accomplish that. But it requires you working together. I'll do this show here. I got 280 people. I've got my phone number up on my website. I've got the buildings now. I've got the establishment. I've got the way to do that. We've got the solar in place, and we got books that'll teach you how to build your own solar. We can build our own solar. We can make our own. How much talent does it take to make a friggin' windmill? We had them hundreds of years ago. It pumped all of our water. It got us through.
This seems to me to be a plan. And that is to find the people who are most inclined to enter this or settle this village, Liberty Village. And that would be, as we said, homeless veterans. It would be people who really don't have much. They've lost their homes. They may live in Illinois or Iowa.
A million people lost their homes.
They got no place to go. They figured, hey, this would be a great opportunity for me to find a place to live, because right now we're living in our vans. That's the kind of people you want to attract. But somebody like me, I've got a home and everything. It's difficult. My wife doesn't think the same way as I do. I'd have to get my own dome and set it up in my yard. But you can get so many people now who are desperate for a place to live, including the homeless veterans, the veterans to whom we owe so much, and get them started. As you say, working and helping out together, creating that community. That would be the first sense of community they've had.
This whole New World Order thing is their whole strategy, folks. Let me explain it to you. Oh, you're a conservative? Well, I'm a liberal. Oh, you're a Democrat? Well, I'm a Republican. It's called divide and conquer. You're a Muslim, I'm a Christian. You know, divide and conquer.
You're black, I'm white.
That's right.
There you go.
Divide
Get
and
the blacks
conquer.
and whites hating each other.
And they encourage it. They encourage it, man. You know. I mean, we talk about Christian identity. Yeah, I believe my ancestors were Israelites. I believe they crossed the Caucasus Mountains, became called Caucasian. But that don't mean I hate the blacks. It don't mean I hate the Jews. I mean, Aaron Russo was a good friend of mine, and he did a wonderful work in the Patriot movement.
Right. Bloodlines doesn't mean anything.
It's accident of birth. It's an accident of birth. Wherever you were born, whatever region you were in, what custom you were in, what religion you were in, where you were born into that, that's either a chain on you or it's a support mechanism.
We all have so much in common now. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, or Jewish or Gentile. All of us are targeted for death and slavery. Every one of us.
That's right.
So we got a lot of allies today, and we have to try to cultivate that alliance between people. Tell them that they're out to the end game. The end game DVD documentary proves that they're out to exterminate us in some of the ways you mentioned with the GMO foods, which actually corrupt the biological structure of the body. You take all these corrupted molecules of genetically modified food into your body when you eat the cornflakes and whatever else they produce, and it's being incorporated into your cells, and it's causing cancer, and you wind up getting weak and dying very quickly, which is what they want to do. So yeah, they're killing us in many ways. Now with the vaccines coming along, they're going to create a disease. These vaccines are designed to trigger the spread of a horrible, deadly virus. That's what the vaccines are designed to do.
They've done that. They did it with the swine flu. They did it with the swine flu. That was a biological weapon that we unleashed, according to the German Gestapo.
Yeah, way back in 1918.
Right.
The swine flu was first introduced way back then. Well, anyway, it goes on and on to how they cultivate these diseases, and now they're cultivating a vaccine which they're going to force on everyone, so that this way anybody who takes the vaccine, there's going to be a recombination of the vaccine ingredient with the virus, such that you have an airborne, deadly bird flu. They're making the bird flu, which is the avian flu virus, which is not airborne. It's very difficult to transmit because it has to be transmitted by blood to blood. So, but it's deadly. Now they're taking that very non-transmissible bird flu and putting it in, making it go airborne with their new recombinant vaccines. So people must stay away from them, and that's why they're planning to force people to take the vaccine. So we have to resist it. So anyway, yeah, that's just one of many ways they're trying to kill us. This is a fight, a struggle for life and death.
Yes, it is. And folks, what do you know? I just had somebody on, John, that was talking about the Amish, and they are getting by just fine. Just fine, and without much of the modern technology. Now, I'm not against technology. I mean, I think every village, every home ought to have its own electric, its own computer, its own satellite to communicate back and forth,
Right.
But if we've got people out there that got land. We got people out there that are homeless. We got people that are living in tents, living in their cars. We got 1 million people lost their homes here. And what is being done for them? The village that's in Texas, the man that's done this home in Texas, has put up these 20 of these dome homes, or these cabins made out of domes, and you can go stay in them for, $100 a week, something like that.
Clay, you do have a wonderful, great audience, a great opportunity to attract many people. I'm hearing my voice echoing in the background, but I think I can work around it. you have an opportunity to attract many people who are indigent, have lost their homes, are homeless, veterans, etc. And that's where you should begin to actually reach them. That's another question. But you've got the internet to help you out. Boy, my voice is really echoing.
Yeah, hold on.
It's a wonderful way
we're
to
almost
network
done here.
People and to meet people.
We're almost done this way. I see these Liberty Villages springing up around the country on the farms and the ranches with a restaurant so you can eat some good food grown by people. You know, we can. One guy's producing in an indoor system up north. He's producing 1 million pounds of food a year, or maybe even more than that. Yeah, about a year. 1 million pounds of food. He's growing fish, aquaponics, and you add the aquaponics to these grow domes, and what are you've got the answer, folks. All of the technologies here. What I've done is accumulate all of these sources, all of these resources. Yeah, here's a guy that's making solar. Here's a guy that show you how to make solar. Here's how you can do it yourself. Here's what you can do in your garage. Here's what you can do in your neighborhood. If you get out and talk to people, I'm not advocating revolution. I'm advocating a return to the lifestyle prescribed by the Bible, the lifestyle that you know, helped people like you survive a famine in Egypt.
Yeah, I mean, this new way of living is far superior to any revolution. Once you get people together, try to reach those who need a home and get them started. Pretty soon you're going to be seeing windstorms that are scary and very destructive. Many homes will be destroyed. Many people will be in terror from these windstorms. Now the echo went away, thank goodness. And they're going to be looking for shelter. They're going to be thinking, wow, I can't even if I were to rebuild my home, which has been destroyed by the wind, it's going to get destroyed again because the windstorms are getting worse and worse. What's the sense of even rebuilding? Where do I have? And then Clay Douglas pops up with these dome homes that can resist 200-mile-an-hour straight-line winds. And they would flock to that community, to that opportunity. And of course, people need the option of buying the dome and setting it up on their own property, because many people would want to stay where their home is. If their home's been demolished and it's a pile of rubble like you see so more and more often now, they might want to set up that dome right in their yard and then gradually cannibalize the debris from their home to form their new home in the dome. So you have to give them the opportunity to set up their dome home, which would be, assemblable, to assemble it themselves.
You can do that. Basically, all you need to do is set up to do that. Again, we need the entrepreneurs. You got to be able to set up. It'd probably be an investment. It's a bag that you blow up. You blow up, and then you spray the concrete on it. You spray the foam on it, and you can erect it in a week. You can erect it in a week.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
And the gentleman's he's selling them all over the world. Matter of fact, this is the ultimate answer. Now, if you want a TP,
you've got these domes on your website.
Yes, sir. I sure do. And you can build them as big as you want. And he builds stadiums out of them. With this, wow. And he's doing it all over the world, and he wants to help people. So, I mean, he's not an advertiser of mine. I'm just telling you, this is the way to go. And if you work together, I've got all the knowledge, I got all the connections. What's that?
He should be an advertiser of yours.
Well, I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. But, they're saying about